Hi, it's Julie from the Petawawa Military Family Resource Center, and thank you for joining us for a fireside chat. We are once again coming to a pre-recorded fireside chat because we have some online elements that we wanted to show you. We want to make sure that you could see them at their best, and we didn't have to worry about any internet issues because we're very excited about this program that we want to share with you today. Before we start, I'm going to just remind everybody that we are going to be talking about some programs. We are going to be talking about our special needs inclusion program, and we may mention different sites that are available and different contact information. All of that is going to be in the comment section. So if you want to follow up on any of that afterwards, it's all going to be in one easy place to find. So don't worry if you miss something, it will all be in that comment section after the video. So you can follow up on anything else you need to. Before we start, let's also introduce some of the folks that are joining us today. I'd like to introduce Andy Burns. Andy Burns is one of the partners at McCluskey Group, and he's going to give himself more of an introduction in a second. Amy MacKenzie is our special needs inclusion programmer at the Pmfrc. And of course, Claudia Beswick, who is on these fireside chats with us every week, is the executive director at the Petawawa Military Family Resource Center. Andy, welcome. For those with a better eye than mine, they may notice the Tim Hortons logo on your shirt. McCluskey Group is the owner of 19, almost 20 Tim Hortons locations in the area. And the Tim Hortons locations on Base and on Doran Street have been supporting the Petawawa Military Family Resource Center for several years with the Smile Cookie campaign. Do you want to talk a little bit about the Smile Cookie campaign and talk about what might be behind the cookie deliciousness that people may not recognize?
Yeah. Thank you for the introduction. The Smile Cookie campaign is one of two major campaigns that we have annually with Tim Hortons. We have Camp Day and Smile Cookie. Smile Cookie is really a great focus for us for a week long. Essentially, all proceeds from your $1 cookies go towards a organization like yourselves that owners get to select themselves. Of course, we select it, we propose it, make sure Tim Hortons is aligned that this is a great cause, and then we get to contribute within our community. So, there's a couple of things. Again, all proceeds go towards, and it has to be a local organization. So, for us, in a military community, it made it pretty easy to continue contributing towards the Petawawa Military Family Resource Center, and especially where you guys have taken it with a focus on special needs. So that's a little bit about Smile Cookie and the reason we have continued to choose you guys to contribute to. What makes it so successful is not only what I've just explained, but how we get there. And we get there through additional efforts from our teams and volunteerism. Our families come in and make sure they bake as many cookies as possible. And every year we try and drive that bar up so that we can contribute more. And the way we get there is by volunteerism of our employees, our friends, our family coming in and really just looking at this great campaign and looking at an opportunity to contribute to our communities in such an amazing way.
You. I know that the team is always very keen. I like going in for Smile Cookie Week and just seeing them all and seeing everybody online, really wanting to get behind that community initiative. Amy, one of the things that we have done, McCluskey Group has been supporting PMFRC for a while. So one of the things that we've been able to do with the donations from McCluskey Group has really been to support some of the special needs and inclusion programs. But last year, some of that money from the donation was taken to create something very special. Do you want to talk about what you've created and what it is and how families can benefit from it?
Sure. So what we would call a sensory room at the PMFRC, sometimes it's a portable sensory room. It's sort of a place where we can set it up when we need it. It's really a multi-sensory environment. And what we've done with the donation is to take that in-person multi-sensory environment and create something virtual. So in an in-person multi-sensory room, you would have different lights, smells, sounds, maybe some relaxing music, maybe some bubble tubes. And we wanted to create, a virtual version of that, so that families can still, even though they can't attend things in person, they can take that pause to self-regulate, to catch their breath, to think about how they're feeling, and take some time to think about what to do next, instead of maybe jumping to an immediate response sometimes, right? To self-regulate. So we wanted to create a virtual space where families could go in and click on different things and view different things. And I'd love to show you the site.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm just going to share my screen here. So this is the Pmfrc's Serenity Nook, and it's a space for families to explore, in partnership with adaptable occupational therapy. So we use some of the small cookie money donation to hire Stephanie at Adaptable OT to help us create a space that is useful, explains sort of the science behind it, explains what self-regulation is, and really it's a way for families to also have some access to the benefits of occupational therapy where they might not already have that option. So they're still able to get that information from Stephanie. So would you like me to take you through the whole site, Julie? Okay. So we have the space, the Nook, and the library. So the space is where Stephanie has talked about what regulation is, given parents sort of that background information of, why would a sensory room be beneficial? What is that? You might hear that your child is using a sensory space at school or in different programs, but sort of what is that? And it gives parents that information so that they can come up with some things to do at home with their child if they're not already familiar with what self-regulation is. So we're asking families to think about, all their senses, their ears, their eyes, their smell, anything that, understanding how all that works. And Stephanie's done a great job here of explaining vestibular activities and different types of movement and how that can help you to self-regulate. Because for any of us, if we're sitting too long at our desk during the day, at school or work, sometimes it's hard to pay attention, right? So by taking a few minutes to do some breathing exercises or jump around or take recess or just, chew gum, whatever it is, it helps us to refocus. So Stephanie explains what all those systems are here. And then we thanked her at the bottom, and families can say, okay, how are you feeling right now? Is my body feeling too slow or just right or too fast? So if I say that I'm feeling too slow, I would click on the yellow button here, and it would give me some suggestions of what I could do to make myself feel better.
So in terms of choosing eyes, ears, tactile, it's whatever the child's preference or the user's preference is it?
Absolutely. So whether it's a sensory room in person or virtual, the whole idea is to look at your own emotions, your own feelings, your own how your body is in that moment, and to have that choice. So you're choosing the music, you're choosing the activity, and Stephanie's given some great ideas here of things you could do. So maybe one of my most calming smells is smelling a pine tree. Maybe we have a pine Christmas tree that I could go and smell right now, right? So these are all just some ideas of things that could help you to self-regulate. So I mentioned gum, but it could be chewing crunchy food, eating an orange, singing a familiar song, right? So all these activities are here, they're there for people to explore with some linked videos. So that's if you're feeling too slow. We get to the bottom. If you're not running slow anymore and you're running too fast or just right, we've had more activity ideas here as well. So Stephanie has included things like sitting in a quiet, dark room. Some people would find that relaxing. Other people find that scary. So this is part of the customized piece, right? That you can choose something that you think would be a good activity for you. So all those things are here. And the whole idea of this is that the things you would do with your hands if you're feeling like your body is moving too slow would be very different than what you were doing if you wanted to slow down because you felt like you were going too fast, right? So that's all the customizable part that Stephanie has customized for us. So that's the space. Then we have the Nook. And this is one of my favorite parts of the site. This is where you can open up the site, whether you're waiting at a doctor's appointment and need something to do to keep busy, whether you're in the car traveling, whether you're at home and are looking for a calming video to watch, we've recorded some of our own videos, and families can click on these and just enjoy them in whatever space that they're in. We wanted to make sure that we record our own videos because sometimes going down a rabbit hole of online videos isn't always a safe place to be, right? So we've recorded some of our own. So we have the Petawawa River that we recorded. So if you'd find it relaxing to sit on the side of the Petawawa River, but maybe you can't get there today, then you could maybe take a few minutes and just take a breath and enjoy the river. So I'll just stop the river and then I'll show you another one.
Much as we were enjoying it.
Okay. And I'll show you a bubble tube that we purchased. This one I could watch all day. So again, customizing things, you might want to just close your eyes and listen and relax to that. You might enjoy watching that one. But again, the option is there for whatever you want to do, with the videos on that site. So we didn't want to create a very childlike space. We wanted to create something that was available for all ages and where anyone would feel relaxed. So we found a graphic of just a comfortable room, and then you can click on anything of interest to you in here. So we have a fireplace, we have some breathing exercises, we have a bubble tube, and then we have slime. I'll just quickly show you the slime video as well. So some people might find that touching sticky, stretchy things is just the worst feeling in the entire world. And other people find this is just the best thing ever, right? So again, this may not appeal to everyone, but for someone, this might just be, the best thing.
I think the music helps too, Amy.
Yeah. So I'll just stop that one.
Now, is this site made in such a way so that people could access it on a phone or on a computer? Like, can I take this with me if I'm sitting in a car or in a waiting room?
Yeah, so we chose to purchase a WordPress site that did have that option. So when you go to the site on a mobile device, it'll look a little bit different than it does on a desktop computer, but definitely it's something that you can take with you if you're, as I said, in the car waiting for an appointment or just need a moment. Sometimes as a parent, you just need a moment to catch your breath, and you might use it yourself, or you might have a device that you'd hand to your child for a few minutes, right? So let's all just take a moment and regroup before we move to the next activity. Yeah, so that's this part of the site. And then the final part of the site is the library. So I'll take you there. So often families will contact me and say, we know you have a lending library, but where do you get this stuff from? So we wanted to make sure that we included some resources for families if they did want to purchase some things themselves. So we've included some Canadian websites that we have had a success from ordering from before. So if families are looking for something in particular, I can let them know where we purchased it from, or they can have a look at the site and explore some of these as well. So again, we have no connection to these companies other than we have successfully ordered from them before, but we're letting families know that's where our products came from. We've let families know too on this page what some of the programs that we offer through the Pmfrc Special Needs and Inclusion Program. So there's more info there. And then some more info about what a multi-sensory space is, maybe how to create a room of your own, a cozy space in your home on a budget. And then a few organizations that we work with that have more sensory friendly ideas as well. One of them being the Special Needs Inclusion Program that we're part of at other military bases across the country. So their link to their Facebook group is there as well. We post all kinds of ideas there. And Autism Ontario's East Region site as well often has some tips and ideas. And then on the About Us page, we're telling you a little bit more about the Pmfrc, how we created the Nook, and thank you very much to Andy and his team for their donation. And that's the last page of our site. So if families do want to check out the site, they're welcome to register by emailing me, and I can send them the link. And the email address is snip@petawawa.mfrc.com.
And I'm going to put that in the comment section below. So afterwards, if you've taken a look at this and you are interested in accessing the this site and want to get more information, you can talk to Amy. Amy also has been involved with the portable sensory room at the MFRC. At a lot of our bigger events, we will set up a sensory room. So if you go and you find it a little bit overwhelming, or you just need to step away, there is a safe space that you could go for that. So Amy does have a lot of experience in creating these spaces and working with these spaces. So she's also an excellent resource for how this can best be used and some of those suggestions. Claudia, we are so fortunate to have partners in the community like McCluskey Group, like Tim Hortons. Can you talk a little bit about how these partnerships really benefit military families? You're on mute.
Sorry, I got booted out and had to come back in. Pmfrc really is the one of the only service organizations that is dedicated to providing programs and services to the military community, and we do that as a registered charity. So we're not part of the Canadian Armed Forces, so the donations that we receive are hugely beneficial, and it really allows us to address some of those unique stressors and barriers that the families are dealing with on an ongoing basis, and more specifically to those barriers that are here in Petawawa, because we don't have a lot of resources available without going into the cities. So a military family's life can be very complex with frequent moves, deployments, settling into new communities, and these types of donations really support our ability to provide services that fall outside of our normal regular funding streams. So some programs are limited, and what McCluskey Group and the Smile Cookie campaign has done has really allowed Amy to take what we were doing in person and convert it to a virtual platform, which really gives so many opportunities, not just for our families, but for other families, right? It's families that have been in Petawawa and moved can still access this no matter what base they're on, because it's virtual, and that's the novelty in that. Specifically with Tim Hortons and their generous donations over the last 3 years, one of the programs that these funds specifically targeted is the special needs services. And it has special meaning to Andy. He talks about that quite a lot every year when we chat about the donation. And, you know, a shout out to Rosalie and her team for all that she does, driving the marketing and just encouraging everybody to buy into the cookie campaign and what its purpose is for. So we have a large population of families that deal with special needs, various situations, not just children, but youth and adults alike. So it's really hugely beneficial. And we really couldn't do it without those donations. And the fact that we're able to singularly target this, this is really something that Amy has put her heart and soul into. And we started this last year, and I can only see it continuing to grow for years to come.
A couple of things I just want to cover with you, and I think they're important things to mention. We talk about the idea of families with special needs. There might be somebody watching who is going through that process, who is waiting for an evaluation, who is waiting for a doctor's appointment, who's waiting for a diagnosis. And in some cases, programs aren't really available to families until they have that official diagnosis. How does that work with your programs, and specifically with the sensory room?
Sure. So our programs are accessible to anyone that's interested and feels they would benefit from them. So we don't have any programs that I would facilitate, that you would need a diagnosis for. I'm not looking for a prescription. I'm not looking for paperwork. I just need to know that your family is looking for a service, some kind of support, and I will work with the family to figure out what that is, what it looks like, and if it's something I can support them with, or if there's someone else I could refer them to. So for the Nook, for the Serenity Nook, for our in-person programs, for our virtual programs that we do every month, anyone is welcome to attend if they feel it would be beneficial.
I'm going to put a link in the comment section to our website, and it lists a lot of the programs that Amy provides. So there's some support groups for parents. At different times of the year, we have building block programs. We have programs that help children with friendship and those social skills. So I'm going to send a link to all of those things. If someone wants to get a hold of you, Amy, how do they do that?
Yeah, so my email address is snip@petawawamfrc.com.
So we will put a link to that underneath. If you are watching this and you are not from Petawawa, if you have stumbled onto our site because Petawawa is a posting that might be coming in your future, you think that might be coming, we understand that if you are a family with special needs, sometimes that posting comes with a lot more stress. There's a lot of things that you need to set up and get organized. You do not need to wait until you get here to talk to Amy. If you see that something is coming in your future and there's a possibility that you're going to come in Petawawa, and you think that talking to Amy is going to bring your stress down a little bit, she can give you suggestions of some of those things that you can do in the meantime that's going to make that transition easier for your family. We say that's a lot, that there's no door that's the wrong door. So please don't think this service may not apply to me, so I'm not going to reach out and ask the question. Reach out and ask the question. We really want to provide you with those services, and we hate the idea that you're going to sit there and not get the support that your family needs because you don't want to bother us. You are not going to bother us. Give us a call. We're going to list that underneath. Is there anything that anybody else wants to say before we sign off?
Julie, I'd like to add that it's really been an incredible 19 months, that we've been dealing with COVID and everything that has been thrown upon us. The Pmfrc team has done a remarkable job in pivoting all the programs and services to the virtual platform for families to access. Last fiscal year alone, we had over 10,300 clients who accessed services, which is quite remarkable given the pandemic and the lockdowns and everything that came with that. But we wouldn't really be able to do everything that we do without the generous donations from supporters like Andy and Tim Hortons. His team has gone above and beyond the past couple of years, and through their efforts really made it possible for us to create some really beneficial services for the sensory room. And even the years before the sensory room, we had special needs forum where those donations were attributed to. So thank you for giving us this special gift. It means a lot to the staff and definitely to the families that we're supporting. So thank you.
Thank you all of us for joining us. I think this is probably going to be our last fireside chat for 2021. Where the year has gone, I have no idea, but we look forward to supporting you in the new year, and we wish you all well. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys.